Okay, TNA fans, once again, what's up? So, this is going to be my actual first review on a show, so I hope I do this good. I've taken notes. I'm gonna do a lot of talking since there's been a lot of talking on the show, so let's get it. The show opens up with highlights from last week's impacts. Of course, that's normally how every show starts. And then the show starts off with the new World Heavyweight Champion Drew Galloway coming out. Drew says that last week's show was called one of the most chaotic shows in history. Okay, hold on there. I think you're being a little carried away here, Drew, because it definitely wasn't the most chaotic show in history. Definitely not in history. It was a good show, but come on, let's not get over our heads here, okay? And then he says, at the end of the night, I was standing with this World Heavyweight title. No matter what you think about wrestling, no matter what your personal opinion, what anybody says is, this is real. Drew Galloway is the World Heavyweight Champion. And then he goes on by saying, he's been called the chosen one, called the guy with potential, been called the fastest rising star since he was a kid, and nothing has been handed to him ever. For the past 15 years, I've worked my ass off. I've been in the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. I've moved to America when I was a kid. I've been through heartbreak, but it all feels worth it standing here with this title. And then he says he's gonna make this proclamation right now. I want everybody to look at Impact differently. I want everybody to look at this title differently. To paraphrase JFK, don't ask what the title can do for you, but what you can do for the title. I'm gonna be a fighting champion. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to bring TNA Impact Wrestling back on the damn map. And then Matt Hardy comes out. That was a good promo by Drew Galloway, by the way. Matt says, you are no champion. You are nothing but a spineless coward, a liar, a cheater. You're a thief. What you did last week was felony robbery. Last week I was in this ring in the main event and I survived literally 13 minutes in a handicap match against two of the main stars in the history of Impact Wrestling. And after I defeated them and retained my title, you came out and stole my title from me. Matt Hardy acting all fired up because he's pissed off, you know. It was such a crime, I should have called the cops. Drew then says, you didn't call the cops. I assumed you called the cops. I was having an after party last week after I won the title, and the cops showed up, but then I told them I beat Matt Hardy for the title, so they decided to join the party. Matt Hardy saying, no, no they did not. Then Drew says, Matt, it was chaos. I saw an opportunity and made the most of it, and I am now TNA champion. You've been a smart man. You've been manipulating people around here. But last week I was just a much more smarter man than you are. The future no longer belongs to Matt Hardy. The future belongs to Drew Galloway. Matt Hardy then says, look at you, all high and mighty. Like you're the conscience of Impact Wrestling. Like you're the moral compass. I still run the show here. I am the master of this universe. And this is what's gonna happen tonight. I am gonna have my return matchup for the world title, or else the entire Matt Hardy brand will annihilate you, eradicate you, and obliterate you. And then Jeff Hardy comes out. Jeff said, Matt, I gotta tell you something, man. There's a line for that title. Last week, you know who got beat? You. Last week I got dragged by two lunatics. You got beat fair and square, so if anybody deserves the first title shot, it should be me. Drew then says, I'll give you a title shot, that's fine by me. And then Matt says, Drew, you should stay out of this. This is family business. And you, pointing at Jeff of course, you stayed out of my career once and for all. I am begging you. Why don't you go back to build some more Illuminis or do some of that art that you do? Or make some more of those of the nonsensible music. Or better yet, why don't you go back on your stupid dirt bike, jump off a volcano and break the rest of your limbs? Get out of my life. Jeff then says, I got news for you. I'm not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere, we, the creatures, meaning the people, until we get what we want, and that is our World Heavyweight title back. And then Jeff Hardy gets jumped behind by EY and Bram, and so a brawl starts out. And then Matt Hardy, Spot, and Tyrus fight Drew Galloway. While the brawl is going on, Bram and EY took out a table. They were teasing, pretty much giving Jeff Hardy another pile driver, but that of course didn't happen. Then we go to commercial, and then we come back, and the brawl is still going on. And then EC3 comes out running with a steel chair, because pretty much chasing everybody out of the ring. Now EC3 is gonna do some talking. EC3 says, we're not gonna have a punch party and not invite EC3. Drew, there's no doubt you're a deserving champion, but I'd be lying a bit if I say you're the most deserving champion. I've had that title 2 times and lost the title 2 times without being pinned or submitted. Drew, standing here I respect you, but seeing that title on your shoulders enrages me. That is my life, that is my prize, that is my possession. That is my validation for what I do and who I am. So forget the goofballs that sit there at tables 9. Sorry Jeff, sit this one out. Drew, I'm formally requesting a title match. And then Mike Bennett comes out, the Miracle. Mike says, Ethan, I keep hearing you blaming all of your problems last week on the Miracle. Well, Ethan, I believe that everything happens for a reason. I don't know, call it fate, call it karma, call it the Miracle. Because I see a lot of guys down there that claim they deserve the first title shot. Well, I can simplify all of this with one question, and that is who pinned the champion last? Oh, it was me. So that makes me the number 1 contender. I deserve the shot. And then Drew says, a lot of talking, man. And then Drew says, the Miracle needs to shut up. You need to shut up. Everybody shut up. And then he says he'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. Hell, I'll bloody fight you all. And then Dixie Carter comes out. Dixie Carter pretty much came out, to solve this whole chaotic problem, to solve this whole issue by telling the guys they need to fight for that shot, and by doing so they're gonna have to do that in a gauntlet match, which pretty much will be the main event. So that was pretty much the first 20 minutes of the show. A lot of freaking talking, man. And then we get a backstage segment with Beer Money. This was real quick, just simple, funny talk. They're pretty much going to the ring. And then we go to another backstage segment where we see JB with Mike Bennett, pretty much to pick. He will be the one to be the first to pick a number to come out on the gauntlet match. So that is what that was all about. And then Beer Money comes out, calling out a team to fight them because they said they had an open challenge, right, for the tag team titles. And then Robbie E comes out. Like, we haven't seen this guy for a long time, which, by the way, Josh Matthews acknowledged that later in the match, pretty much by saying that this is Robbie E's debut on Impact, which is true because we haven't seen this guy like ever since TNA ran on Impact. So, but it's great to see Robbie E. This guy he's comedy. Robbie says, no doubt when anybody thinks of the greatest tag team in TNA history, it's Beer Money. But because you guys got back together, tag teams could put the differences aside, and it's got crazy ideas running through my head. I'm thinking crazy things. So Robbie E pretty much just called out Jesse Garter. So this whole thing is basically just to show us that, you know, the bromance are back. But like, yeah, okay, we're supposed to forget they have beef, but whatever. I, on the other hand, want an explanation on how they got back together, what the reason is that they're teaming up back together. Of course, it's because, you know, this whole tag team thing, but still, it's a hole and they need to fix it. TNA needs to get their shit together sometimes. Which, by the way, speaking of number one contenderships, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Tyrus the number one contender? I'm pretty sure he was still the number one contender. Huh. Did TNA forget about that? Did they just wrote that off? That's another hole they need to fix. I want an explanation for that as well. But anyways, and then we get another backstage segment, this time involving DK. Abyss says, "We are not alone. We are together for many reasons most of you will never understand. Davey Richards, you got in a beer trap and now you are no more. You Wolves, Eddie Edwards, you are no more either. So do you want to fight one of us, Eddie? Do you dare fight one of us? How about a no disqualification?" And then of course Rosemary says her part, DK, DK, DK. And then we get another backstage segment with JB, but this time with Bram and EY, so they will be the ones next to pick a number. But then EY grabs the microphone and says, "What you're looking at is the king of professional wrestling. You're looking at God." This guy is gold, man. I'm gonna miss EY. "You're looking at the most dangerous man in professional wrestling. Bram knows it. He knows his spot is right here by my side. Hardy, you have learned the hard way. Drew Galloway, you're gonna feel greatness next." And then Willow appears. This is the second time they tease us with Willow. But my question now is, will they still be doing this now that EY isn't in the company anymore? I would think they would still do it by this time on Bram. At least I hope so, because I'm dying for another Willow return, because we haven't really seen all that much of the Willow character. So they really should start something with Bram, continue it with Bram, since EY isn't in the company anymore. And then we get a match between Eddie Edwards against Crazy Steve. Hold on. Did I miss something? Hold on a second. Hold on, just a second. I think I missed a match. Oh yeah, the first match, sorry about that. The first match was Beer Money against the Bromance. The Bromance won. In terms of the matches, I'm just gonna say if I like the match or not. I'm not gonna call all the moves because I don't know all the moves by heart. But Bromance pretty much won the match. It was an okay match because look who they were facing, the Bromance. The Bromance isn't all that great. So that's just about it. It was real quick and simple. And then the second match was Eddie Edwards faces Crazy Steve, which was also another meh match because Crazy Steve isn't all that great either. You know, I would like for Crazy Steve to do a lot more because I do think he can be someone that can reach a certain level, you know, if he only takes himself seriously though. But pretty much Eddie Edwards won by distraction because Rosemary was on the ringside. So like Crazy Steve run through her and then Eddie Edwards won by a roll pin up. And then we get a backstage segment with Maria. Maria then says, "Gail has been saying for weeks that she's all talk and no action, you know, Maria. And that she forgets that I pinned her last week." Sorry. Maria says that this is what a first lady of professional wrestling looks like. Showing off her body, you know. Maria has pretty eyes and I love her hair too, and of course she has a nice ass. And then she says that Gail has been the face of the Knockouts for a long time. and that the champion belt in her hands means nothing, and that the action that I'm going to take will be a revelation that will change the knockouts forever. And then we get a backstage segment with Bobby Lashley and Dixie Carter. Pretty much Bobby Lashley asking Dixie for something. At that time we don't know yet what it is, but we'll figure that out later. We'll find out sooner in the show what it was. And then we go back to a backstage segment with Jeff Hardy and EC3. So they'll be the ones to pick a number. They didn't say which number though, none of the guys said which numbers they had. So then we get another match, or actually a match that was supposed to be a match between Gail Kim and Maria. But then Maria starts to talk. More talking. This was literally more of a talking show than a wrestling show in my opinion. This show sounded like a fucking WWE show. But anyways, Maria says, hold on, I'm sorry. Yeah, Maria says a few things to Gil Kim, blah blah blah. But then she brings out the dollhouse, pretty much by telling the girls that she's willing to give up her title shot for one of the girls, but by doing so, the dollhouse must break up. So they end up fighting, ending wrestling each other, and of course Jade was the one that came out victorious. I don't know if it's official that the dollhouse has broken up now. We'll have to find out next week. I hope so though, because the ladies deserve like single honor roles, especially Jade, because she's really damn good. They really need to put a knockout title on her though. She's really good. And then we get a backstage segment with the Matt Hardy brand, EC3, Spot, and Tyrus. I'm sorry, Tyrus, Matt Hardy, and Spot. So they get to pick a number now for the Gauntlet match. And again, they didn't say which number they got. So then we finally get to the Gauntlet match. But then Drew comes out and says there's been a lot of talking tonight, hasn't there? Yeah, no shit. And then he says everybody doesn't shut up around here. Well, with Drew as champion, you're gonna get a lot more action. Well, I hope so. And then Bobby Lashley comes out. More talking, and then the crowd starts chanting no more talking, which is by the way the best thing they have chanted so far. Bobby Lashley says I haven't congratulated you yet. I just want to say congratulations on being the champ. You're the new champion. I don't think I need to tell you about my resume or how bad I am. You can ask Kurt Angle, or you can ask that little bitch Pope sitting down there. Or maybe you can find out yourself when I take that title from you. So that was pretty much that backstage segment with Dixie Carter and Lashley, that he was asking Dixie for a spot in the Gauntlet match, and he pretty much got it, which makes him actually the first one. And then EC3 came out, which made him the second one. I'm just gonna call the order to quicken things up. EC3 was number 2, then Spot number 3. Number 4 coming out was Mike Bennett. Number 5, Eric Young. Number 6, Tyrus. 7, Bram. 8, Matt Hardy. And the last one to come out was Jeff Hardy. Okay, I'm gonna say who eliminated who, just to quicken things. I'm not gonna call the whole match. Let's see here. Lashley got eliminated by the Pope. That was interesting. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do something between these two. I hope so, because I really would want to see Pope wrestle again, though. Pope is a good wrestler. EC3 got eliminated by Matt. Spot got eliminated by EC3. Mike Bennett got eliminated by EC3. EY got eliminated by Bram. Tyrus eliminated by Lashley. Bram eliminated by Lashley. And Matt eliminated by Jeff Hardy. So pretty much Jeff Hardy was the one winning this Gauntlet match, making him number 1 contender. I did like this match though, but all the other matches were just okay. But this match was an okay. This match was a good match. I really did enjoy this match. My overall rating for this show, my overall thoughts is I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm sorry, there has just been way too much talking, and the wrestling hasn't been all that great. So I'm gonna give it a 5. Hopefully next week will be a better show. I really hope, and less talking. But this is what you're gonna get on mainstream wrestling though. You're gonna have a lot of talking. It's not like in independent wrestling where you just have non-stop action, like literally non-stop action, less promo and that stuff. Mainstream wrestling is mostly the one that does this whole talking, cutting promo, backstage segment. So yeah. So that's pretty much about it. Let me know what you thought. Hit the like button if you enjoyed my review. If you want to subscribe, go ahead. And I'll be seeing you on the next review. Thanks for watching if you have watched this all the way in the end. It's my first review, so as you can see, it hasn't been all that great, but I'm hoping to get better, which I will.